Hey everyone, welcome to this Monday stream. We're doing some city skylines. We got Daniel right here, doing well off, excellent health in high school, staying at home right now. I'm guessing going to the only high school in this town right here. Let's see, we got some other things to check out. Commodore Cars Pub is right here. Doing very well, operating normally. Then we have which penny? This one. We got Zach's Breakfast right here. Operating normally. Not bad. We got the Mountain Church. Doing well there. And then we got the Sixth Knight, who's doing well. Their current residents are getting older, but you never know when the next group is going to move in. Right next door there's some construction. So let's hit play and see how everything's going. Yeah, I'm getting this artifact right now. Don't know why, but the roads are blue for whatever reason. I wonder if I can. Nope, they're just blue for whatever reason. Don't ask me why the roads are blue. I have no clue, but so I think we were gonna build out this population and hopefully start gathering some industrial portions here. Let's see, how's the traffic up here doing? Traffic up here is building up. But it's only because I'm doing this stage style, which I'm trying to debate on if I want it to yield or what, because like the stage style is nice when it gets to like this, where each set has to kind of come out at their own pace. But it sucks in the sense that like 8 or 9 of these guys can come out. Like, I don't know. Let's see, maybe they make this priority? No, that's not good. We just do stop. No, we just do stop. We just do stop, and it's just gonna back up all the way to China. Yep, that was bad. I did bad. I'm sorry. Okay. So we got this, I'm thinking cut right here, and back down and around. And this is a 3-lane, so we can do this one? No, I think that's the normal. Yep, this one. Awesome. Cut it out this way. Then we'll do more of a freeform shape here. How far can I actually take it out? 15. There we go. And then we'll do a straight away until we get to the end of the street. Not enough money. Okay, we'll collect some more money. Did the traffic clear up? No. Yeah, it's just gonna have to be that way. Unless, is it me? No. We spent all that time removing all those. Yeah, both of those are straightaways, so I don't know. It's really tough getting this onboarding one going. Don't know for sure. Okay, we need to build this road. Perfect. And we'll build our little back roads. I kind of want actual. There we go. There we go. That gives us some room to do other things. Coat all that in green. This small section can be coated in green actually. And all right here can be coated in green. And now we might have a problem. Because we don't have a lot of money. I mean, like 14,000. There we go. There we go. So that neighborhood is done. See, now the traffic works well. So it's like, it's tough to determine if it's traffic issues or normal issues. Right? Yeah, I don't know. There's all people growth going. People are going up at least. See, I feel like if I'm going to expand the commercial, I'm going to expand it here.
Coffee, fuel of the modern economy. The age-old Italian tradition of burning beans and drinking the bitter bean juice. At Burn Bean Coffee, our environment is perfect for all of your work needs.
Yeah,
there's no better place to be distracted than the Burn
Let's
Bean
check out
Coffee
where
shop in
Daniel
Canada.
is.
Our
Nice
coffee
little
technicians
home.
are trained to make a variety of
I'm
coffees
behind a
and
gate.
sugary coffee
I'm
themed
in
drinks
somebody
just
else's
as you
backyard
want,
right here.
all while generally making more
Nice
noise
little
than anyone
home.
could reasonably ignore. So drink up and let the productivity flow. Sippy sip
Quiet
coffee
street.
fans, Burn Bean Coffee. Get it while it's hot.
Yep, there's a motorcycle.
Hello, I'm your host Elle, and you're listening to Cities Radio. Sometimes I like to check our listener emails and see what people are talking about. Here's
This
one.
is the thing I have.
What are you doing this weekend? Well, I don't have any.
This is the problem I have, and I have to figure it out.
Try to communicate with the animals. Last weekend, I was close to a breakthrough, but a cow kept telling me to move and I lost my place. So what are you listeners gonna do this weekend? Drop us a line and let us know. Maybe I'll see you there.
I'm famous chef Tony Magoni, owner of Tony Magoni's Steakhouse. And when people ask me where I get my award-winning meat from, it's from one place.
I guess
Meaty Bits.
the problem is both of them can go, or one of them only can go left. So if I go here and say,
so, if it's good enough for Tony Magoni's Steakhouse, why not be good enough for Joe Public's Home House? Yeah. Get in touch with Meaty Bits. Tell them Tony sent you. Meaty Bits. If it ever was alive, they can get it to you dead.
yeah, but this is a one lane.
It's Super Salmon Days down at Fish Brothers. For a limited time, bring in any fish and get a child salmon entree free. You heard right, bring in any fish and get a free child salmon entree. And I mean any fish. Got a swordfish lying around? Bring it in. Got a goldfish you're
I
sick
have
of
to
eating?
figure it
Bring
out.
it in.
There's some problem there that it's just
Bring it in.
sorting it out.
Throw it in with the rest of them. What we do with the fish is nobody's business but ours. Just enjoy your salmon $8.99 with our famous stew.
And nothing's
Welcome
really
on into Fish Brothers
progressing.
Seafood-themed restaurant, where
What are you
everything's
guys
a great
complaining
catch.
about? Not enough workers? Not enough
Hey,
educated
listeners,
workers.
you're
Okay.
tuned into Cities
Ooh,
Radio.
where's
We play
David
the
go?
best music from anywhere in the world. It's actually really great.
Oopsie.
Think
Sorry,
about it.
David.
How can we afford it?
You're a young man
Anyway,
now.
We have a lot of great music for you coming up.
But
in
you're
between the commercials.
highly educated. Okay, we don't have the money for another school yet, so... And you work at the general store, right here. It's called the car wash. Hi, Creamy McLeamy. Not enough shoppers? Products, buyers, yep. Need more people. Yeah, so we have a small graphical glitch this stream. Hi there, I'm Creamy's editor, Joel. Welcome, Joel. I have a traffic problem. It works, it's just anytime we get like an Amish, and it's primarily because of this road right here. Because we're taking a 3-lane and compressing it down to 2. Or no, we're taking a 3-lane and making it. Let's see, can we force fix this? Maybe. Let's see. If I say you have to go straight, you have to go straight, and you have to go straight. You're the only one that can, come on, turn in here. And you're the only one that can turn out here. Does that fix that problem? Because now, they'll sort out up here where they need to go. I've been editing for about 2 years. Congrats. So that should sort out that problem theoretically. Now, of course, we do have it when these 2 buildings get stops that it's going to lag up the traffic, but that's just going to always happen. I can't, unless I delete these buildings. That is a motorcycle pulling a trailer. Okay. So let's see if that increases productivity. Oh, buy new land. I think we're gonna... You guys need to decide which land we're gonna buy. Let me move this little guy. There we go. We got north, east, south, west, or grass, river, beach, lake. So You guys need to decide that. Hello, 45 gunner. Let's expand this out. Expand it out there. And Bedford is right there. Okay. So, doing well, right? Nice traffic. Still got this weird loop thing that it is surprisingly functional. And it's only functional because if I remember right, yeah, there's no way they can go down this road unless they somehow came from this side. So, it's strange. It's strangely functional. Oh, you're gonna move to New York City? Congrats! Now, traffic here builds up quite easily, but theoretically our traffic here should not build up anymore. Because now they'll decide which lane they need to be in at the very top up here, and then just carry it all the way through. And then it's just first come, first served. So yeah, should be good there. Got some crime there. Got a minor crime issue. That's all we have right here. If there is one thing about American roads is that they are grid. Or I try to avoid the classic grids. But yes, America, due to how it grew in the time of vehicles, it did grid itself very well. It did find grids as a very common way of commuting. The reason why a lot of European cities and even Asian cities, or Asia Oriental? I don't know. Oriental cities are not very grid is because they come from a more historical time, so horseback, walking, that kind of stuff. So we got a traffic problem because these guys can't go until this is clear. Yes, so they're more curved because historically horses could easily go about being cleared or being curved. That's problematic because now it's lining up traffic. Or is this parked? This is all parked, never mind. Okay, so we're good there. We're about to be good there, except for the traffic line up here. But, come on. Thank you. We might have to stage this one too, because this, if this one backs up, it gets everything backed up. But I guess it keeps everything flowing. Yeah, that works. Because as long as it doesn't get backed up to here, we're fine. And as long as they don't try to merge into each other, we're fine. Oh, by the way... yeah, I can try. It all depends on what time you're thinking. Okay, see you soon, 45 gunner. Okay, I need a police station. I don't know, I think I do. When I really look at this, yeah. We only have one police station for this entire town. I think we need another. Just slightly. What time Sunday? Because I stream on Sundays, so... Oh wait, this is a fire station. We only have one fire station for this entire town. Which is also problematic. Because you'll get this! Come on, there's the fire truck. Put out the fire. Yay, the building's saved. In reality, our fire department's amazing. Yeah, I could try to view yours. And we also need to build another neighborhood. And I think I'm going to expand this neighborhood out. So now the question is, do we want a through road, a road that goes through, which means a possibly even more traffic on this road as people are going back and forth? Or do we want to cut it somewhere else, like right here, and have less traffic cutting through? That's fine. Let's see, is any of these critical? No, okay. There is Commodore Carr's pub, so we can't cut that. But we could cut the Quiet Corner store, which sounds not too bad, or the organic food, or both. I don't know. We need to cut something, so that's we need to. Let's see, where's Commodore Collars? Commodore Collars right there. I'd much rather not be that close, so I think we're gonna cut this guy. We're gonna cut the organic food. I will be able to watch your stream Friday because I won't go anywhere. Aww, I'm sorry. Okay, 2 lanes. Okay, we're gonna do another 2 lanes coming out this way. And we wanted it right here. It won't let me put it where I want it, but hey, close enough. Okay. And we'll go 4,000. Okay. So now we have Lake Street. I know, but I'm sorry that you're not going out. Like, don't stay in just because you want to watch my stream. The outside world is amazing. There's nature and stuff. Or at least that's what I've heard. And we'll cut it there. And I think we'll just cut it there. We'll let this be its own little neighborhood. Okay, if you say so. There we go. Hopefully that didn't interrupt Commodore Caller. And we'll have this as a back road. And of course, I want to kind of keep the rocks if I can, because I personally think the rocks provide the neighborhood some flavor. So, and optimize. We'll have this one go through. We'll have this one be our cut through one. And then I think the back road will have the back of the neighborhood. Actually, we might be able to split it nice and evenly. Oop, come on. There we go. And then we'll have this one continue its way down. This one continue its way down. And we'll just keep going with that pattern until we run out of road to continue. There we go. That's fine. That's fine if you can't watch it. I think we're gonna go completely residential here. There we go. And now the question is, did we have enough water? We're gonna try to optimize our water here. Nope, just barely not enough. But we'll be fine. Because this will blow up real quick. And then we'll get some money and we can put some water down right here. Come on. Up, up. Can't tell. Yes, I'll cover everything. There's a small little gap, but hopefully it won't complain about that. Okay. I have a really bad problem of making like new neighborhoods right before it turns night. And that stops the building process, so... Let's see, did Commodore Cars disappear? Nope, Commodore Cars is still there, right at the edge. Which means Clock Street is another way to get to Commodore Cars. Oh, that's fine. I mean, hopefully that's good and you guys can talk and feel better and like resolve things. Trying to see if I can create a path to Commodore Cars without destroying Commodore Cars. Nope. Well, hopefully the NPCs will know to cross the little bit of gap of questionable land. Look at that city, guys. Look at that. We need more raw materials. But beyond that, this is a beautiful city. We also just created a new thing. Well, do not try to put the new child in between you guys. Like, the new child has very little say on the matter. New town. Sheriff Square. Beautiful. Okay. So I think we haven't had a tour in our town in a while. So I think we're going to select one of the vehicles that come off this road. That one specifically. And we'll take a tour of it. Oh yes, look at that. Look at that road. So that's the down... Well, we're in this vehicle. And we're in this vehicle. So that's the downside with cross-throughs. These cross-throughs have issues with traffic control. But beautiful, like, city-wise. This car is, like, literally on top of every other car. Just like normal UPS drivers. Okay. We'll be on top of the Ford now. Look at that sky, though. That's a crazy sky. Oh, nice. That's a crazy sky right there. So. Yeah, I kind of like this town. This town's really nice. Traffic's a little heavy. Traffic's the hardest thing in this game to really manage. But beyond that, and beyond this vehicle like cutting right through whatever car they're going to, it actually is not a bad looking town. I like the angle too, the descent. There's a McDonald's. Yep. I guess we're going back now. Yep. Continue going. Ooh, right through the truck. Ooh, an ice cream parlor. That's nice. Okay, you do that. I'll be here. Now we're gonna go through a neighborhood. If we could not be on top of the car in front of us, that'd be great. But hey, okay, we're gonna pause this. We're gonna bypass half of this and go do something which will not be on top of the car in front of us. And a slow pace car, so we can actually look at the beautiful houses, beautiful cars, beautiful people walking.
The wait is over. It's finally here. Friday night chili bowling at Andy's Bowling Alley. Every Friday night, anyone who buys at least 2 games of bowling gets a free bowl of chili.
Welcome back.
So don't wait. Book a lane now. Due to recent
I
incidents, chili
love
will
the tiny
only be
homes.
distributed at the
The
end of
tiny
your visit.
homes I
That
love.
way you can enjoy it wherever you want. In a park, at home, or on a construction site. In the meantime,
This road
you'll
looks
have all the
pretty
fun that
natural,
bowling can provide.
actually.
So come on back and be reminded that
Kinda
you're not actually that good at
curve up,
bowling.
curve down.
Andy's Bowling Alley.
This hill is a little high. It's kind of high for a hill.
Do you ever wonder how the mailman delivers
But beyond
mail
that,
to
it's
the whole
not
city
bad.
every day? And what about when the mail comes from another city and he has to go get it before bringing it here? I can see why stamps are so expensive. Anyway, if you're listening, mailman, this one's for you.
Last year,
And now we're on this main road.
PC sales records and
Main road to the neighborhood.
storm. Now the hit Equine Economic Simulator has a new expansion that delves into the cutthroat world
Of constructed homes.
Economy 3.
Homes that are being kind of in post-construction.
From lowly horse to be the head of a major real estate
Well, I call it fix them up.
spin your holdings into a billion-dollar conglomerate. Can you work your way under the fence and out of your pen and onto your life as a property mogul? Spreadsheets have never been hotter. Pre-order now and get a free horse hat. Horse
Oh, yeah,
economy
this
free,
is
stable markets. Buy
beautiful
now, sell
neighborhood.
A.
There's the baseball
This is
stadium.
Cities Radio, home of music.
There's the football stadium. High school. Alright. Yep, stop traffic again. Ooh, that sounds like a tough one. I'm sorry for that. But, oh yes, going through schooling and working is a tough mix. I think we did kind of solve our problem. The traffic's now up here instead of here. Instead of all the way down here, which is nice. But it doesn't solve the entirety of the problem, but it at least resolves a lot of the traffic in. So, we're losing people. We're almost at 6,000. We're losing people. Gosh. Now we're gaining people again. Getting all these homes. What are they complaining about? Not enough buyers. Well, I can't make more buyers until I get more people in. So I'm sorry. And it's actually no, stream goes on for an hour today. So we still got about 25 minutes. So we'll get through this day, or this night, and then we'll most likely get through a good portion of the day. Trash is piling up. That's actually very problematic. How is our trash doing? Our trash is getting pretty high up there. We got some deserted buildings now. So, we got a trash problem coming on. So we actually kind of need to start saving money. All these buildings are going to get demolished before the day comes. Oh, this is horrible. And we have traffic building up again here. It's kind of actually worse because now they're not doing, oh, it's all fine, Creamy McLeamy. So now they're not doing a zipper merge, they're just kind of, they're zipper merging up here, which is not great. When I can figure out what they want. Oh, that's fine. So let's try something, because I know a majority of them seem to want this outer lane. Which means either they want to shuffle it across, or they want to come here. And it looks like go forward, so I don't see any issue there. This is an issue. This is a bigger issue than what we had because we didn't have a zipper merge, or we don't have a zipper merge now. So I guess let's see. Let's reset this guy so that they can zipper merge right here. I'm gonna let this guy do his own thing again. And then, what's the priorities here? Eared fry. Ear fry. There we go. And I don't know how to fix that at all. This is becoming huge. Huge building operation right here. Okay. You can stay then. I'll let you stay. So I think we're gonna hide a little garbage area right back here. Unless 45, the pollution is small. Unless we can maybe put a small recycling center back here, but 45,000 is a lot. We might be able to do it, but man, look at all those people in markers. We're at 6,000 though. We made it to 6,000, so that's great. Okay. Be careful, I believe they're under pressure, so they could be quite dangerous if the pressure is quickly released. Yeah, I think I'm going to put a small recycling center right here. Yeah, I don't know what the things that to do in the graphic issue. Or we could put it right next to Zach's breakfast. I don't know. I kind of want it further south. Any one of these is anyone's buildings? I don't think so, but I'm just making sure. Yep, come on, thank you. Nope, okay. So yeah, I think that's what we're due. Assuming that our rate isn't increasing for the garbage. 81%. It's not great. We might just put in our garbage out real quick. Which is going to increase traffic on that road. Yay! We don't want that. I'm going to take out a loan. I'm just going to take out a loan. We're going to take out a loan, guys. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a problem here. We have a problem. So if I take out a loan, we're not gonna make enough money to counter the loan. But we kind of need a loan. Well, I guess if we're lucky, we can take out a loan, and then before the loan expires, pay it. Or before everything goes horrible, we can put money back. Okay. Quiet. I don't think anyone's building's here. Yeah, I think we're good here. And our Zach's breakfast is here, and I think we're good. If we're not, I'm sincerely sorry. Can you sell multiplicity bonds? Is that an option? Let's see. Let's see what policies we can put in. We need 7,000 for taxation, so I don't think so. Not yet, at least. So we're gonna actually, I think we're gonna want, ooh. I think this is gonna be a major road. We'll make it nice, because we'll make this the cutoff for where the neighborhood is. In theory. So we'll make a nice, like, boulevard kind of thing. And then we'll have a nice back road here that will be 2 lanes. And I kind of would like it if it could go all the way back, but we need 60,000, so that's quite outside our budget. But eventually, I think that's what we want. Is we want it to go all the way back there, so it can be a quicker way to get trucks further down here. So for right now, we'll just make it a nice short one. And then, do we have enough? Yes, we do. Awesome. And try to place it in a way that it won't impact too many people. We'll put it right there. Okay. Need some water coming down and across. There we go. And then I'm thinking commercial for this sector and for this sector right now. Now we got another place where dump trucks can come out of, a lot closer to this side of the city. We got a lot of fires. Are they actually being handled? It doesn't look like it. Do we at least have emergency response? Yes. So one's coming that way, and then what about this one's emergency response? This one has none. No emergency oh, because it's already there. Good job. That building is roasting. And the fire truck is just down the street. Let's tab it and watch. Come here, fire truck. They're dying. There we go. So ooh, we got another fire? Oh my gosh. I think we got a row of anarchists. So right now I am 25. Look at that house, it's on fire.
Brontosaurus. For millennia, these gentle and graceful
I don't
giants
see any fire
roamed
department
the earth,
either.
grazing off the lush vegetation of the time.
It's just
Their
on
mere
fire.
existence transformed the landscape and made a lasting impact on our world.
And we are losing
It's that
boat
legacy
tons of
that
money.
Dino Oil is proud to
Oh,
continue
this is
by
problematic.
using their eons-old dead bone goop to fuel your 5-door wagon, making it the oldest form of recycling there is.
Oh, that's all fine.
Dino Oil.
Age is just a number.
The power of bones.
We are losing boat tons of money though. No, the fire is not good. I'm kind of shocked that I haven't seen any fire trucks yet. Where is it coming from? Okay, he's coming down the street.
Eating a sandwich? The city has a lot to offer. So what do you do while you listen
Right
to
down
city's
there.
radio? Drop me a line and let me know. In the meantime, let's play some more music.
Come put the fire out, fire truck. I think he's behind an Amish. Yep, he's behind Amish.
Pernu is Italian for jean jacket. We take the second best of
The
Milan
Amish is
and
like,
with an
nope,
appropriate markup,
not
bring it
today.
Just because you don't have taste doesn't mean you shouldn't have pants. Pernu apparel. Clothes, but not quite.
Alright, they put the fire out, I think.
If you
Either that or it's ready to be demolished. Nope.
big,
Fire's out.
that's why our cameras are the biggest on the market. Our shutters the loudest. Our lenses the longest.
So
Cameras aren't
now
paper.
trash can be picked up.
Tools
But we're
used
gonna
to
still have a
create.
problem.
In fact, the most valuable
Very
thing
shortly, we're
is
gonna
the
have
one
no more room in our
inside.
landfill. Which means we're gonna have trucks coming from this landfill out across this way,
You're listening to
down
City
this road, and
Radio.
dumping it
Best
into the
music from around the
recycling thing
world.
to try to get trash out. Which, that's not great. Well, I'm halfway there. I'm over halfway there of using up this entire tile. Well, correction. This small little silver right here, I'm not going to use up because it's just not going to look nice no matter what. Not until I can build onto this tile. So. But I think we're going to take a small... Well, actually, no. We need neighborhood. So I think we're going to expand this neighborhood. This is a custom map. I believe it's Hyrule. Let's see. Can I get that information? No. I cannot get that information right this very second. But I'll definitely make sure I find out which map this is. It's not a bad map. I like it in the sense that it has a lot of unique geometry. I want to say it's Hyrule. It might not be. But it might be. Yes, I do use OBS. OBS is a very powerful tool and I use it very often. Okay, so our budget is slowly recovering. We still have technically a loan we took out, but overall it's recovering. We got Charles Boulevard, which will actually fit up pretty nicely because we can expand it all the way here, make a bridge, have it enter here, which could be another industrial zone, which means people from here could work here or work here. We also could travel it across along the side of the lake and up here, and it eventually could tie into that highway, which would make a nice exit for traffic, which also makes this road even busier, which means we might have to expand it even more. But that is for future decisions. We're almost back on budget. Oh, you owe me a shout out? Oh, thank you. This road kind of is pointless right now, but it's really to mark that this road will most likely come and join this road. And this will most likely be a stop and a stop. So really, this road is a little too big than what we really need, but for right now we'll keep it that size because it's not traveling too far. In reality, this road's much more valuable as big as it is. In reality, eventually, is this out on the PS4? Yes, it is on the PS4. Eventually, we will need to update this road, make it a train, have a train going down this way, a train going down this way, and a train going all the way down here, and a train going across Charles Boulevard. I don't have a PS4, so I don't know exactly what it's called on the PS4, but I've had a few commenters say that it is on there, so. And I'm trusting you guys, so hopefully you guys aren't lying to me and making me sound like an idiot. That would be sad. Okay, we're gonna expand this neighborhood out since we got the money. Take it here, and I think we'll loop it back. Yeah, we'll loop it back. We'll provide that weirdness. And again, if you guys want to be a building, a citizen, any of that stuff, just say so. I'll add you into the game, and from there, we can keep track of you throughout the series and find out what all is going on in your citizen's life. Ooh, keep running straight. There we go. There we go. Nice. Giant S. Okay, now we just need to add some water. And we're gonna do the old optimization on our water. Dang it. And we're out of money again. If you can, you can have me and Gunnar as moderators. Sorry if I spelled it wrong. So right now I don't have a need for moderators. If this channel gets popular, definitely I will consider you guys. But I don't have a definite need for moderators yet. I do have a definite need for fire departments. But I keep ignoring them. I need to stop ignoring them. I also need to stop losing money. We're gonna possibly ruin our game right here. We're gonna take out another loan. We're gonna add water. We're gonna hope that everything works out by adding people into the city. There we go. Because I live on a chance. There we go. And we're gonna speed time up, and we're gonna just sit back and hope. Yep, fire. Tons of fire. Tons of fire. Luckily, tons of fire department to come rescue the fire. Okay, literally this should be booming right now. Oh no, it's not. That would explain why there is no boom. There is no growth. There is no zoning. There we go. Now, it should be booming. Make us our budget back. Go, budget, go! Also, do we have enough to put another fire department out? Yes. We're gonna put it right on this street. Right. Can I squeeze it? Yes, I can. Can I squeeze it here? Yes, I can. We're gonna put it right there. That will at least cover the south side. We still need to cover the other side of the entire thing, but we need to cover this side, which most likely one of these buildings will sadly go. No problem. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, Darth Killer 9. Okay. Yeah, we need fire departments. We're actually kind of quite lucky how far we've gotten without any fire department. Or without much fire department. We also need police. But, sadly, we are really pushing the maximum spending limits on our budget. So, but we're not knocking back a profit, so we're good there. We're carrying people up. How close are we to the milestone? I think we'll hit the next milestone and then I'll end. Yeah, I only need one really, and it was all the way up here. Where is it? Where's the fire department? It's all the way right here. Yes, like if there's a fire on this side of town, and it's taking the most optimal route, it's gonna have to go into this traffic, down this, into the traffic circle, down this to wherever it needs to go. Then turn off the off-road, turn onto another road, turn onto another road, come up here, come down, and hit here. Like, ew. Ew. Talk about, like, just getting really good fire insurance. We still have these packaging problems. That's just gonna be a thing. Because traffic's... Like, I'm trying to optimize this traffic right now, but until we get another square, we can't really do much because we only have one way in and one way out of the city. And you get this! So, yeah. So, I think that will be our next goal. You guys definitely need to decide, or else I'm going to decide which landmass we're going to continue building on. And I'm going to pretty much cancel the beach right now, because the beach would just be hard to keep maintaining. We need either the train, the other side of the highway, or this highway right here. We need something like that. And it's getting tough, guys. It's getting tough. We're not playing in our own little sandbox anymore. We got McDonald's on every corner. Got fire departments now. But they need a way out. So I'll create a new neighborhood right here. Or actually have this neighborhood continue all the way to the end. That's not good. We have a power issue. That is definitely not good. Oh, please tell me one of these need coal. Nope, that's not great. That is definitely not great. Hopefully we can satisfy these people with their demands. Oh, wait. Let's see, can I just connect these two? Hopefully that's enough to get enough power. Yes, cool. What about building up the rest of the open land between the town right now and the water? So this area? Are you, like, give me a second. So we got these areas we can connect to. We got the river, the beach, the lake, or the highway. So, no, the circle. So you're saying build the other side of the circle? Yeah, we could build the other side of the circle right here. If you're talking about here, we'll eventually build that up. But the issue here is we need, right now we need to get another exit to this town. So, if no one's gonna disagree and no one's arguing, yes, we'll buy that. If you want, we'll buy that before the stream's over. Assuming we can get 7,000 people real quick. Which we're so close. We're so close. If we can get 7,000 people, we'll buy that. And then I'll most likely make a bridge right here. Make a little junction here. Because I think that's where the land is. Yeah, make a little junction here. Have one come here and have one go up and around and over here. So. Oh, we're losing money. Oh, we're gaining money. Oh, we're losing money. We are on the cusp of losing the game. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. Like, we're losing money, but we're slowly gaining people. So hopefully we can get it. We also definitely need a police force here. No, I think we're gonna have to budget. I think we're gonna have to budget because there's no way we're gonna keep this. Oh, what can we cut in expense? What can we gain in taxes? Let's see what happens when we add 1% tax across everyone. Okay. Welcome back, Creamy McLeamy. Okay, 1% tax keeps us in the green. I am happy with that. It also keeps adding people, which is the main goal right now, is can we get 7,000? If we can get 7,000, I'll be happy. We'll buy the next land over, we'll buy the lake. I might even combine some things quickly and everything. And then we'll see what happens.
Coffee, fuel of the modern economy. The age-old Italian tradition of burning beans and drinking the bitter bean juice. at Burn Bean Coffee.
And I think we'll do a roundabout, but I think I'm gonna do a strange style roundabout and see what happens. Because why not be strange? We're close. Look at that climb. It's just sitting there. 6, 9, 24. 25 for 28. Luckily our budget's going up because I added the 1% tax to everything.
Get it while it's hot. Due to recent court actions, we are required to warn against drinking hot coffee.
Ah,
Hello,
50.
I'm your host Elle, and you're listening to Cities Radio. Sometimes
We
I
have
like to check
50
our listener
left.
emails and see what people are talking about. Here's one. Elle, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, that's not good. It looks like our population's dwindling and increase.
Communicate with the animals. Last weekend I
Okay.
was close to a breakthrough, but a cow kept telling me to move and I lost my place. So what are
So-
you listeners gonna do this weekend? Drop us a line and let us know.
We're gonna
Maybe I'll see you there.
create a police station just because
Saddle
we
up in the
definitely
mornings
need
with
one in
Jimmy
this
and the
area.
Stallion, the only morning show
kinda need
featuring
one in
TJ Jimmy
all
Fries
areas,
and
but-
a 4-year-old quarter horse named
I think we'll-
Clover.
For
This is
stylistic
Jimmy Fries coming to you
purposes,
from
we'll put
Studio
one right
Two.
next to
Whoa,
the
whoa,
fire
whoa,
station.
whoa. Looks like someone's horsing around. Okay. Easy,
So now we have
easy,
police and
boy.
fire right next to
They'll
each
play
other.
your favorite hits,
that will
give out
look
great
quite
prizes,
nice.
and laugh their way through your commute. Jimmy and the Stallion. Stable entertainment only on Cities Radio.
Come on. Population, go up.
This is Cities Radio. I'm Elle. You know, like the letter.
Okay, come on, population. We're so close. 3, 2, and we did it. Awesome. So we got more land we can get. We can get taxation policies. We got level 5 building unique. We can do metros now. Can issue leisure and specialty. So we could actually put like a beach town or a lake town around here. That's nice. We can now do high density buildings and stuff. We can do large toll roads, which we might do on the bridge over here, just to try to lessen the traffic. Universities and incinerator plants, metros, large emergency centers, saunas, there we go. Earthquake sensors, deep space radar, universities, awesome. Cool, let's pause it, because we're gonna do some things. Well, first things first, we're gonna buy the land right here. Purchase, done. So now we have a lot more land we can do. We're gonna delete these roads. We're gonna put basically what we have here, here. I don't like it, but I don't think I have a better road design. Oh yes, I do. I have the actual highway exit. Awesome. So we'll basically stick it right here. Hopefully. And then we'll see what happens. Let's make sure we delete places where we can actually build out of. Yeah, cool. I mean, at worst we buy the other land, but okay. So now we just need to put this out here somewhere. Too steep, too steep, too steep, too steep, too steep. Ah! Really? Of course it's too steep. Well, we might have a quick detour to do this, but that's not too bad. I'm okay with that. We'll do it. Boom. So now we just need to connect this one to there, and this one to there. Which that's gonna be fun. Okay, I think it's a 3-lane. Yeah. it's a 3-lane. Okay. So we'll take the outer one right here. We'll do something like that, and then here. And it's backwards, but hey, that's fine. We just do stretchy road. There we go. There we go. So, nice curve there. Carry. Oh, we don't want stretchy road. We want nice curve here. And then we'll go out like here. And curve in there. Nice. A little sharp near the bend, but that's fine. We'll try to keep it as close as we can. Yeah, there we go. And then right there. Now we go. Move that photo right down. There we go. Okay, so we have a lot of roads to fix. Hello, Jaden. Okay, first things first, this is a download, so we need to just flip these roads. Luckily, that doesn't cost us money, because that would be really bad right now. And then we just need to flip these roads. There we go. And then we have a nice little highway. It has a pull-off exit, a loop around. Which I really don't prefer the loop around, but sure, we'll have a loop around. I guess it works because there's no other way to get under the highway in this design, but hey, it's all fine. And then we'll build this road off once we get more money, but we're getting there. Now we have a road coming out. Now I wonder, can I just quickly make a quick stretch road coming off of here? Kind of just being like, hey, carry some traffic away from me. Yes, it says I can. But it won't let me build a bridge with this. Yep, okay. What if we did it with a road? I kind of want it right in the middle. Yes, right there. What if we did it with a road? We were like, hey, too much money. Okay, so road, we can't do it. Okay, so I think we're good here. I'm gonna just clean this edge up a little. We're gonna just quickly do some cleaning up, and then we're gonna be done with the stream. Try to make it a little less of a sharp bend into this exit area place. Let's smooth that out. Yep. And we got this bend that's kind of weird. And we got this bend that's kind of weird. This bend can actually be kind of stretched. Right there. That'll be good. This road I'm not too mad about. I don't mind it too much. This road's also not too bad. This is the only one I'm like, a little crooked, but hey. There we go. A little bit better. Okay, well, yep, I'll see you guys Friday. We're gonna just let this play out, make sure. Yep, I knew it. I knew it. I knew I was gonna mess something up. We need 3 lanes. Fix this. There we go. Now traffic can actually flow through. Whoop. Hello. Okay, so now traffic can flow through here. We got this nice little area. We can make a little industry here. We got this large area right here that we can actually continue building on here. So nice, I like it. We're at 7,000. Let's check some stats out. Let's see. So we got Daniel still. He actually moved up in his. Oh no, he isn't. He's just walking to the drive-through theater right here. Come and watch a movie. He right now is a supervisor at the car wash. That's nice. And he lives at Hickory Residence. So same place. He lives at the same place. Very nice. We got some buildings that I recall. Let's start down here. We have Commander Carr's Pub. Let's see, what else do we have up here? I know we got Zach's Breakfast. We got the Mountain Church, still sitting nice and proudly in this bigger and bigger city every day. Actually, how many people are coming here? Whoopsie, that's a person. 70 people are going to the Mountain Church. So that's nice. And then we got the 6 Nights Home right here. It's gonna level up soon, it looks like, again. And right now it's back to an even split between kids, young adults, and seniors. So nice. Beyond that, if you guys have anything else to eventually put your name on, we bought more land, so we got tons more land now to build on. Anyone who forgot, basically this lake was cut in half, so once we get this half, we would have filled an entire square. Beyond that, I think we're doing great, and I will talk to you all later. Bye bye!